Hey, how are you? Welcome to the higher course. I know it's been a bit of a tricky year, what with the coronavirus, and it means you didn't get the full Nat 5 experience. And I can only say I'm sorry about that. But what we have to do is build on the knowledge and skills that we have gained this year and develop them best we can for higher. So, and I've mentioned this in Google Classroom already, what I have decided to do is study Macbeth for an additional year at higher. That means we'll be going into the text in quite a bit more depth, looking at sort of essay questions that you get at higher rather than Nat 5. But it allows you to use all the knowledge and skills, and some of you were writing really great critical essays at Nat 5 and take that forward to higher. So let's hope that's a bit of an advantage. The other thing that we're going to try and turn to our advantage is our folios. Now, as you know, they were not sent away to the SQA this year because of the coronavirus, and that was the same situation nationally. What I am proposing we do is take our current Nat 5 folios and up-level them for higher. The higher word limit is 1,300 words per piece, and you'll remember at Nat 5 it was only 1,000 words per piece. So there is still going to be a fair bit of work to do, and the examiners will be expecting a higher standard at higher as opposed to Nat 5, but it's a very workable, doable project that I would encourage you to do. If I think your Nat 5 folio is not suitable to upgrade for higher, then I will tell you about that individually. But the majority of you had very good folios this year, so you will be able to up level them, and I'll be giving you advice individually on how to do that. So that's the good news. We're going to stick with Macbeth to study at a higher level, and we are going to take forward our folios and again up level them. If anyone wants to write a brand new folio for higher, then that is amazing. If you're someone who enjoys writing, then I would very much encourage you to do that. Equally, there is absolutely no shame in taking forward our Nat 5 folios from this year. It's whatever works for you as an individual and learner. So that's the aspects of Nat 5 we can take forward and use. The new parts of higher, we are going to also study The Great Gatsby, which is a novel. A modern American novel, sometimes referred to as a novella. I have put a PDF link to that in Google Classroom, so please start reading that as soon as you can. It's not a terribly long novel, and that's why it's sometimes referred to as a novella, because novellas are shorter. You should be able to get fired through that over the next week or two. The sooner you can read that, the better. So Macbeth will be studying that in more depth this week, but at the same time I also want you reading Gatsby because that's our new text for higher, and it means that you'll be studying two big texts for higher, which is Macbeth, drama obviously, and Gatsby, prose, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and either of those essays would be 45 minutes in exam conditions. So don't worry, even at higher, you still only have to write one critical essay in the exam. Exact same deal. So you don't have to write about both Macbeth and Gatsby, you will choose between them. But you do have to practice, study, write critical essays in both. So the final exam is going to be the exact same in the sense of one 45-minute critical essay, and the other part of the critical reading paper is your Scottish set text. Now we're going to study a new author for the Scottish set text, and that's the poet Carol Ann Duffy, and it'll be 6 of her poems. I will be putting links to them in Google Classroom, but that may well be a bit later on in the course we get to her. So the focus at the moment is our folio, thinking about, do you want to take your pieces forward to higher level? I would encourage you to do so. Why not save the time while you can? Reading Gatsby and starting to look at Macbeth at a higher level as well. Those are the main things you should be doing, and I'll put more specific instructions in Google Classroom. Close reading is another big part of the higher RUAE. Again, very similar to Nat 5, all the formulas that you've learned in Nat 5, the question types are going to be a great help for you. The only difference is that at higher, there are 2 passages in the close reading. So passage 1 and passage 2, whereas at Nat 5, you remember you only had 1 passage to answer questions on. So there are 2 passages that appear in the exam, but you also get a fair bit longer. It's an hour and a half, and you have to do a comparison comparative question, which is where you compare the two passages. Again, all based around broadsheet newspapers. So that's one thing that's very, very advantageous. The Nat 5 course and the higher course are exceptionally similar in structure. You have the folio, same deal, just a bit longer. You have a close reading, same deal, just got 2 passages and a longer time limit. And you have your critical reading paper, which is your 45-minute critical essay, unless you get extra time, which some of you do, and answering Scottish set text questions. And this year you will write on Caroline Duffy. So I hope that's a wee quick introduction to the higher course. Like I say, we're going to try and take the best parts of Nat 5 and the situation with the coronavirus and try and kind of just capitalise on that and do what we can to boost your attainment at higher next year. So be positive, be excited, start reading Gatsby, and there'll be more directions in Google Classroom about Macbeth specifically. And I will see you soon. Bye.